Good afternoon, everybody. I'm coming through with another episode of The Bottom Line with the MiZ. Just wanted to talk a little football today. Get away from a lot of the nonsense. Get back to what we truly love. It's a little bit of the downtime, so haven't been talking much football. But just wanted to touch on a couple things. It's not going to be long. It's nothing to rant about or go crazy, so it's not really my time of the year. I know the combines are coming, and look for me to host something live for the first time in a while. I might try to touch on the combines. I wanted to mention that we'll have some new guys joining as I try to start up, same videos, same MiZ in the middays, a couple of live streams, but I'm going to be adding a couple of new faces. And listen, man. Sometimes, you gotta venture out to different places. The Giant Nation is big out there. I don't want to just have Giants talk. I'm gonna start up a stream. I want to host different fans. I want to have pro football talk. I want to get input from other fans on this upcoming draft. I want to know what fans from other teams are desiring in this draft for their team to better their team and their franchise. We're a big Giants fan base, but we have other fans out there. I'm interested in the other three teams in the NFC East. I'm interested in the other team in New York, the Jet fan base. I'm interested in the Patriots fan base, as I have some family members that are New England fans. I'm always interested in the Buffalo Bills, as they've built up a strong team and organization up there, and I'm very excited to have their guys come over and try to follow in those tracks and revise the New York Football Giants. So those are some of the things we're going to touch on. I also am going to try to host other sports talk as baseball season approaches, if there will be a baseball season. And that could be any baseball fan. I live and I'm born and raised in the New York City metropolitan area, and the major teams here are the Yankees and the Mets. But again, I'm going to tell everybody out there, everyone's invited to our streams. We're going to have a fan base. This crew is the Bleed Blue crew. And that's because we bleed blue. But that doesn't mean you can't come and have the mic. It's not my mic. It's your mic. I'm just providing a platform. Everybody, the mic is yours. Pass it along. I want you to talk your knowledge. Teach me something new about something new. I don't claim to know everything. I speak and educate what I know, and I also take education from others. I have no problem with anyone. The mic is not my mic. It's your mic. You come on the show, you talk about what you know. It can be any sport. You got the World Cup soccer coming up this summer. There's a huge soccer fan base out there across the country and the world. I am going to stream live the soccer games. I've been a soccer player and a big soccer fan my entire life. And I'm going to try to teach a lot of Americans who are not big into soccer why soccer is a very exciting and amazing sport. I'm going to teach you the ins and the outs and the strategies of why certain teams use the middle of the field while other teams attack from the wings. We'll go into that as we get closer to June, July, as the World Cup soccer comes around once every 4 years. So this is a big summer. Baseball is always big. The NBA basketball season is about to enter the second half of the season. You can talk about teams. We can go into players. We can have the same arguments we always have about who's the greatest player ever, top 5. Is LeBron James the Michael Jordan of this era? To a lot of young kids, he is. To a lot of young guys, it was Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant, to me, was the closest thing to Michael Jordan I've ever seen. All respect to that legend. But like I said, man, I'm going to open the mic to a lot of people. You're welcome on my show. I will never hold anything against any human or soul. People know me as a passionate fan, and sometimes my passion is what people love. But at the same time, my passion could be something that may irk people. I'm never going to change who I am. I've been a passionate fan since the first day I laid eyes on the Giants. And I've never missed a game since 1985, man. I was 9 years old when I fell in love with the Giants. And the single one player that I fell in love and obsessed with was the greatest player in NFL history, number 56, Lawrence Taylor. Until today, he's still the greatest single football player in history. And that's undisputed. The most feared player to ever touch a field. So, I'm going to go live tonight with the first live show with some of the new people. And, of course, a lot of the guys that I've done sports with over the last year or so. The show's open to you guys. The mic's there and I will bring you on. I will never hold anything against anyone, and I will never disallow you to come on the show and speak your mind. And not only speak your mind, I'm going to open the mic and allow you to talk what's in your heart. For the most part, we want to stick to sports. But sometimes politics mixes in with sports in this country, and that's happened in the last few years. You can't sit there and ignore it and say, let's keep it to sports and not to politics, when sports has been filled with politics. And I'm going to allow you the mic to speak about any kind of issue you may have with what's going on in this country. I will not be insecure to some topics that might shake some feathers, but I think that we are all secure and mature enough to have conversations while doing it respectfully, and then jump back over to sports again, because we all share one thing. Our love and passion for sports is one of the biggest things in each and one of our lives, and has probably kept most of us out of trouble, has kept us straight, has given us love, passion, and discipline, and keeps you inside the boundaries of life. Anytime things have gone wrong personally, you turn back to a sporting event to take your mind off of whatever hardship you're going through. Real quick, there's two guys I'd like to keep on the Giants that they may choose not to, but me personally, I think they're two real key players to Wink and the new defensive system we might have here next year. One is Julian Love, man. The guy's all over the field. He could be used all over the field. I think he's a special player, and Wink might be able to take him to the next level of the type of player he could be. We've seen flashes, but I think you could see a lot more. Most likely, we're going to let Peppers go. Number 2, I feel you got to try to work out something with Blake Martinez, maybe he takes a small cut. Maybe he could restructure 1 year on the back end if Joe Schoen is willing to do that. I know it's not something he wants to do. I think Blake Martinez is an important, very smart, educated, competent linebacker, a leader on this D. I'm not telling you we don't need to go in the draft and get another linebacker who's more athletic and intimidates teams more. Put him next to Martinez, but I think you gotta bring Martinez back. So if he can prove to you that he's physically healthy and ready, and he could cut and run on that leg, the man's a tackling machine, man. He's got old school in him. He might not be the dog we all talk about, but he's got a little bit of that dog in him in a quieter way. Right now, we don't have many linebackers, and I think it's really crucial that we find a way to bring Martinez back. You can let all other players walk. You guys know how I feel about certain players, okay? Lorenzo Carter could go. He's done nothing. Okay? Shepard, bye-bye. Look, you can't keep players. We all have players that we love, that we wanted them to win as Giants. It was important to us that the Giants win, and it was as important to us as those players win as Giants. It didn't happen. A matter of fact, we've lost more in the last few years than any team in the NFL. Okay? And we're all sick of it. And that doesn't change if you keep the same names. So, it's time for change. You can't be upset with letting most guys go. And I wouldn't be upset if they let them all go. Even the names I just mentioned that I'd like to keep. It's not about me. You brought in a new regime. The regime has proven that it's able to do things. If you want to go by their resumes of these coaches and what this GM has helped do in Buffalo, the keys are yours, Joe Schoen and Dabo. Sit back, allow them to build it. Whether you get a tackle in number 5, or if we're lucky somehow to strike gold and Thibodeau falls to us, I don't see how, but if he does, you run up and grab him because you can't pass up on elite pass rushers. And we haven't had one in a while, and I know a lot of guys like Aziz. Aziz is not that guy. He is not Thibodeau. But if you have one on one side and one on the other, you're now cooking with something special. And if that's the case, then you got Cross at 7, hopefully. And if they choose to trade back and get more picks so they could add another first round for the 23 draft, that tells you that Jones is holding us over for 1 year until we get to 23. If they did make the trade back, the investment is in the better class of quarterbacks next year. You could be sure they're going to use those 2 picks in the first round next year. If it's there for them, they're going up to get one of the top quarterbacks in that draft. And make no mistake about it, these quarterbacks in this draft are not the quarterbacks in the 2023 draft. So if you're thinking long term, we can't go through a quarterback every draft. So we build the trenches and we build this team the way we should have for years. Don't worry about the receivers and the weapons. You could get them in the middle rounds. Stock this O-line and get yourself a premier edge rusher and a real linebacker. Next year, you look for the quarterback. And in the process, Jones has a year to prove something. But at least build the trenches so it's ready for the next guy, if we are going to the next guy next year. And if you ask me personally, this regime is saying the right thing politically. You know? They're holding up Jones. He's a classy guy. He works hard. He busts his ass. You're not going to come in here and crap on him. I think they know that Jones is a 1-year quarterback here. They're going to go find one of these top QBs in the draft next year. And that's my view, and that's how I see it. I love the guy Jones, but I'm just keeping it real. This is the bottom line with MiZ. I hope you join me tonight. Take a chance. Come in the streams. Talk with our guys. I think you'll like what you see. Like I said, teach me something new about something new. And the mic is not mine. I just sit back and let you guys pass the mic around. Bottom line with MiZ.